Alright, I got the engine completely off the bike. It wasn't that bad. I started just unloosening everything and getting everything off. Not that bad. Pretty quick, comes off, you know. I was thinking I was going to have to take the swing arm off, but you just got to get that bolt to go out that way and then start picking the motor up. So here's the motor, and so far what I found out is the cylinder is not that bad. There's nothing wrong with the cylinder. It's not the cylinder actually I think it's going to be the main bearings on the crank bearings, the roller bearings, and I think that's what's going on. The head, all the valves, here's the cams. They look fantastic. No metal shavings there or any kind of damage. And this bearing right here feels good. And that goes for both the cams. They look great. And here's the other one. No metal shavings. Looks good, like it's been getting oil. No damage. The caps all look real good, of course. No damage there. And even the cylinder walls look great. So I got it to turn over. Let me see if I can do this without holding that chain. So there it's turning over. You see there? And I don't know if I don't think this camera is going to pick up that, but there's no ridge on the cylinder wall. There's no gouging or anything on the cylinder wall. I haven't taken off the cylinder yet. And you can still see the cross hatch pattern on there. So the cylinder looks very good to me. No problems there. Now, I did get it to start rotating. Now, let's see, the running direction is counterclockwise, is this way. Now, if I keep going and, just keep turning this way, it'll all of a sudden lock up. And if I back up and start turning again, then it'll free up. And when I do turn it, it's real lumpy feeling. And it sounds like bad bearings. It sounds like bad main bearings. Those bearings in there are just starting to go clunk, 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 you know. And let's see, I want to get that chain off. It's kind of hard to do with that chain there, but if I start turning it, it'll just stop. It'll just get, of course, you got to hold this chain up out of the way because you don't want that to mess up. And let me see if I can get you to hear that. It just has a lumpy, crumpy sound, and I'm thinking it's the crank bearings. And another thing I found out, the metal shavings that are down here, these metal shavings, they're metal. The magnet sticks to them, so they're not aluminum metal shavings. So that tells me that it's probably the main bearing, the crank bearings, because that's when I'm turning this thing. I was holding this chain and turning it, and I turn it and turn it, and all of a sudden it'll get tight, and you can't go. It'll just get tighter, and you can't go anymore. But as soon as you back it up, then you can start going again. Just it gets binded, and it has a and it's real lumpy, like it stops and goes, it feels like the bearings are shot, but it has this rumbling blah blah blah, like something's going on in there, so something's chewing up. So the next thing I got to do, pull this cylinder off and split the case and see what's going on. But you see it's moving. Not bad. Looks good. Let me see if I can get that. Let me put the camera on the tripod, and I bring the tripod out here and set it up. And see if I can rotate. I gotta hold that chain, see if you can hear that noise that it's making. Okay. So now I'm just gonna hold this chain. Now watch, if I turn it, this is the running, get that chain to, hopefully it's not getting all binded in there. Okay, it's getting stuck again. That thing cuts your hands. Okay. I'll try to do it without making any sound. That thing there is making noise. Now see, it just binds up. I can't go. Now if I go forward and wiggle it, I can get it to go. Man, I had it going better than this. Oh, I think my rag is sticking in there. Oh, that ain't helping. Okay, my rag was sticking in the gear. Okay, let me see if I can do this without the rag. It just hurts your hand trying to grab it. Well, this ain't working out at all. This thing's making noise. Can't do it without the rag. It just hurts your hand. It just goes so tight and you gotta... But you hear that? It just sounds like a... I put that over there before it gets torn up. Wish I could just drop this chain and it'd come off of down there. But it's like right there, it's got this bump on it. It's got so many bumps. Like there. It's not smooth, it's lumpy. And you got to go back and forth to get away from the lump. Man, it's just difficult to turn. But anyway, the cylinders look really good. There's no scratching or anything. I didn't see any kind of metal, you know, where it's turning that black like this, you know, when you touch the cylinders. They look good. I didn't see no scarring. I don't know if that's going to come up on the camera because this camera just won't focus that close. But they look great. Let's see if I can get some light on it. So nothing wrong with the cylinders, you know, and nothing wrong with the head. The cams all look good. These all look, you know, polished, and nothing wrong with that. I might replace the valve stem seals just to be sure. And so now what we got to do, we got to take this cylinder off and remove the piston, and then remove this clutch and all this. To probably do the clutch first and then just split this case down and then have a look at those bearings, but I ain't working on it no more. I went after it just a couple hours ago, and I'm tired. I ain't messing with it no more tonight, but it wasn't that hard to get it all apart and get it going and get it off the bike, you know. And so I'm happy, you know, that there's no damage up here. All that looks great. Just got to figure out what this freaking noise is and why is it kind of, it's kind of weird, because if you keep going this way, the running direction, it'll just lock up. I mean, just, and the more you turn it that way, the more it gets stuck. I mean, it just gets like, you can't turn it. And then if you start backing up and going forward and messing with it like this, you know, kind of messing with it, then it'll get going again. So there's something in the bearings, and I guess it's all the metal shavings and everything, and they just get binded up and they can't go. So that's what I'm thinking it is now. It's because no damage up here and everything. And then on top of that, I put a magnet on this stuff, and the magnet sticks to it. So it's telling me it's not aluminum, it's metal. So it's got to be the bearings, hopefully. I'm going to wash it all up and everything and put it all back together once I get the bearings and everything. So this thing's probably going to be running pretty good. Doesn't need nothing. Hopefully the crank ain't damaged, you know. Oh, another thing. I checked for slop in the piston. Like on the top dead center here. And moving it back, I didn't feel any play, you know. Getting it on top dead center and then moving it down and moving it this way, you know, I didn't feel any kind of play in the connecting rod or anything like that, so that's a plus. So we'll just have to get this apart and see what's going on with it. But I'm thinking now it's those crank bearings is what went out on it. That's kind of weird. I mean, those bearings hardly ever go out and they last forever. So I don't know what happened to them. Got a bad bearing or something. So I guess I'm going to wrap it up here, and next video I'm going to have this thing all broken down, and we're going to see what really happened to this Suzuki. But it wasn't that hard to get it off the bike, really. At first I was thinking I had to take off that swing arm, because this part of the motor is in between the swing arm. And I was thinking, is that going to have enough room to lift out of that swing arm and then kick over and get it out of the frame? And it did. You don't have to remove the swing arm. I think they put grease in here. Yeah, feels like grease. But you don't have to remove the complete swing arm. You just get that bolt, push it out till it gets over here, and then the motor gets loose and not very heavy. Just pick it up, get it out of there. So good deal. Alright, I guess I'm going to wrap this one up here. And the next video, we're going to see exactly what happened to this little Suzuki. And then we're going to go from there. Get bearings or whatever it needs. And let's see. I might, you know, do some upper work here. I mean, we got it all apart, you know. I am going to get the valve stem seals and look at a price on maybe a big bore kit. Just to look. I doubt I'll do that, but we'll see how it goes. You know, I doubt I'm going to do that. I was thinking about it, though, getting a big bore kit, put it on there. Might be too expensive, though. No, I ain't going to do that. It's too much. But let's see, what else is going to need? The gasket sets and things like that. Of course, I'm going to have to buy all that. But we have to crack this apart and see what kind of bearings it needs. Hopefully, I don't need a crank and all that. What else? Thinking there's something else, but I forgot. I'm going to tell you. Yeah, I took them inside. I do have a ring set. I forgot in that last video he gave me a ring set, and I looked up the part number. It is for this bike, so I do have a new ring set. So I can either put that ring set on here, or if I think about it, I can put a big bore kit on it. But I already have the rings, so I can just do that and put the rings on, because I mean, this all looks great. Probably sand it down a little bit, you know, so the new rings break in. Just give it a nice crosshatch pattern, you know, with a little light sandpaper. And throw the new rings in there, lube it real good. Put the valve stem seals. I just think that the valve stem seals are leaking, because you can see in the exhaust port, seems like they were leaking a little bit. And see what else it needs, bearings or whatever. Okay, enough talking. I guess I'm going to wrap this up here. So the next video, we're going to find out exactly what happened to this motorcycle. All right, I'm out for this one.